Oh, hello, my lovelies. Well, doesn't everyone love a bit of romance? And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this session is romance on YouTube. Because there's a lot of romances going on, isn't there? Oh, a lot of little love stories blossoming in the most unexpected of places. Yes, so that's going to be the subject matter today. Romance. Anyway, let's see if we got in so far. We've got KR, hello, and Matrix on PC. Hello. Just let a few more come in, then we'll start. You know, Matrix. Ronan man wants to be an acro man to have the kind of body. Oh, Ronan. Do you know what? It's what can one say about Ronan? Anna said it all before, haven't I? I mean, he's warned, and he's the one that decides to ignore it. Then he starts apologizing for being basically an idiot, a continual idiot that doesn't learn. But I may talk a bit about this because, of course, I'm talking about romance. Romance. Which we all need love in our lives, don't we, darlings? We all do need a bit of Barbara Cartland fun in our lives. But yes, it's nice to see him and Paul Ellis, you know. I don't think Ronan has twigged yet, but it'll be, you know, do they look like a couple that would match? I don't know. But anyway, let's see. Mr. The End is coming. Mard, Sean, Method in My Madness, Joanne, Sunshine, Mrs. O. Oh, yes. Yes. You had put on the naughty step before, weren't you, Mrs. O? Really? What I was absolutely shocked because Mrs. O's in my finishing school for ladies of refinement. And well, let's put this way, in my comment, she came out with the saying that I was positively shocked that one of my students wouldn't even know that saying, you know. Absolutely shocked to us. So it's going to be homework for you, me lady. Outdoor thing. Jax, are you, Jax? Lovely. Wonder if Paris is in the house. Oh, I hate that saying, in the house. Do you know, in the house? There's certain things that do the rounds, isn't it? And it just gets annoying. In the house, peace out. Peace out is another one. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's another one. You know, it's just like, oh. Anyway. Hiya, Steve. So, yeah, what's been going? Well, it's all still kicking off, isn't it? It's all still kicking off. Anyone wants to join in? Because you know what? I've come to the decision. Right, it's just what's had to be said has had to be said. And it's best now leaving people to decide what they're going to do and let them take the fallout if they decide to do the wrong thing. You know, you just have to, don't you? You can only put it out there and say, there we go. Hiya, Kelsey. Mrs. O, I mean, this is just getting worse and worse. You are really going to have to do major lines. You are sauce. Sauce. Ladies do not say sauce. Ladies say, please forgive me. Sauce indeed. I think it's that Paris. She's been talking to that Paris one. That Paris one. Oh, I'll tell you now. Hiya, Crossy. It's what it's. Anyway. Yeah. Oh God, Ronan and this Nick Williams thing. Nick Williams, I told him, I warned him. Now I don't want to cut into Nick Williams because I keep on saying this. He says horrendous things about me. He says horrendous things about other people. But the man is not well. He's clearly not well. And you can't cut into someone when they're not well. You just can't do it because they don't know what. To me, I'll say is delusional and paranoid. That's what, or he's got dementia coming on. Both conditions, if he's got one of those conditions, he's not in control of himself. So you can't take it as, you just can't take it personally what he says. You just have to roll with it, even though it's horrible what he's saying. But the other night he did an infamous, well, Ronan started interviewing. Do you know what? He's a crafty. Honest to God, he is so crafty. Read Ronan like a book account. Ronan started interviewing Nick on his channel. And then they stopped it. Now, I didn't see much on Ronan's channel, but then they went over to Nick's channel and did the second half of this interview. But it was warts and all this. So I thought, here we are, I'm going to get a kick in here. That's what it was designed for, basically, to give me a kick in. Anyway, Ronan was on there saying that I'm insane, basically. He was saying that I'm insane. I don't get into the situations you do, Ronan. I'm more intelligent than you ever will be. Anyway, now this is what I've said from day one, and I think I was proved right. Ronan has been using Nick for no other reason to get at me, because Nick was putting the most horrible comments in Ronan's on Ronan's channel about me, saying I'm a predator and all this, and real hate speech. But as I say, he'll do that. Then the next day he'll be trying to follow me, friend me on Facebook, and I know what's going to be. Oh, I'm sorry. He'll turn on a dime, Nick, and that's what I mean. That's why you have to be careful with him and not hold him to account for everything he says or does, because he doesn't know. He'll be slacking someone off, hating on them really bad, accusing them of all sorts, abducting them, everything. Then like that, he'll be, oh, yes, and you're a night, and thank you for talking to me and all this. He changes. That's how quick it is. So there's something there. But Ronan definitely was using him and egging him on. But the crafty stopped it on his channel and went over to Nick's, so that if any trouble arose from it, Nick would be the one that would have his channel affected by it, not Ronan. See how crafty he is. See how crafty and manipulative he is. And he knows damn well that what Nick was putting on his channel was bad, because when I did a video and we fell out, Ronan was saying, don't email me again, all this. I hardly ever contacted him anyway. But I said to him, look, you'll have to sort this out, what Nick is putting on your time, on your comments, because he's putting very defamatory things about me on your comments and hate speech. Now, Ronan said, and I've still got it, and if he's listening, I've still got Ronan, where you say that is unacceptable. And what did you do, Ronan? Left them there. And then you took on the fake Anne, which is from the neo-Nazi Wheezy group, and goes around putting terrible hate speech in different things about me, calling me all sorts. And where are these fake Anne accounts now? They're on Nick's channel. Do you see what I mean? It all ties up. But Ronan's trying to wriggle out this one now, because things have come out about Nick. I'm not going to say what they are, but I've heard things about Nick myself, about what he's got up to in the past. And now Ronan's doing it, setting the scene so he can, negate himself from it. No, he used him. He knew. I warned him, and other people warned him, because people told me they'd gone to him and said, be careful of that Nick fella. Be very careful. But and another one that was cheerleading him was that Lucifer fella, that and that Mass Detective fella was doing so, but it meant more so the Lucifer fella. So they all knew. Well, I know Ronan knew, but he chose to ignore it. And it looks like now he might be walking into another Decker Heggie situation. And he'll have to wait. This is just constant with him. Constant with him. He's do you know what? And when I say, I don't usually turn so quick against someone without good reason. And I just knew when I heard him talking, I thought, this is not a nice fella, this fella. wait, what's it? Lisa, I think Nick is Nick Williams, who pretend, he is a lawyer and associated with a fake crim odd man. Yeah, he always says, I'm a lawyer and I'm going to sue you and all this business. He can't think straight. And he got it in his head. This is how ill he is. He got it in his head that I was saying he was Carl Beach. I never said he was Carl Beach. Carl Beach is in prison. Why would they say he was Carl Beach? What he picked that up from was that Carl Beach, before anyone knew his real name, he was known as Nick. And he used to tweet from, and now I found out who he was, and his name was, he used to tweet from an account on Twitter called Carl Survivor. And I seen a tweet coming out one day, just merely by chance seeing this tweet coming out, and I thought, wait a minute. I thought, is this Nick fella? That he was involved in the VIP map scandal, and I'll go on to this map thing again before Ella starts his nonsense. Right. He was involved in that, and of course, it all blew up. They found out that he was a liar, and I outed that the fact he was known to be a map himself. But it all, I say, exploded. But Nick has got it in his head that I don't know whether he thinks there's only ever been one person in the UK called Nick. But I wasn't referring to Nick Williams. There's no way, but he's got it in his head that I meant him. Most people do. I'm surprised he hasn't turned on Ronan. He will do eventually. I'd imagine he turns on everyone. He can't help himself. But now for this map minor attractive person thing that Ellis is trying to make out and made. I'm not going to talk about it fully because I say you don't know which way it's going to turn. But he's made extremely defamatory statements towards me. Extremely. He's not saying he thinks. He's saying he knows what I think and what I'm doing. I made statements about me in the LGBTQI community. Well, just let me clarify something. As I said in a post on my community page, does he want to go looking at Ready to Glare? Does he want to go looking at Blair White? People who have campaigned and expose, and still to this day, expose maps online. And what do they call them? They call them maps. The reason you have to say maps, people, is because the algorithm, especially if you've got a monetized channel, the algorithm is set up just to pick buzzwords. Now, the reason why it's picking those buzzwords is it wants to know if there's anything out there which could be offensive. So if you put the P word in or the N word in for a map, what happens is it doesn't know whether that means that you're actually putting material on for them. Do you get what I mean? Abuse images. It doesn't know, so it just grabs it, holds it, and if it gets enough times, what happens is one morning you wake up and you have a shown up situation. Your channel's taken down. And don't forget that happened to him twice. Because it doesn't know. It can't distinguish whether you're talking about it or you're actually putting stuff up there. Same with the word sex. Same with the word abuse. If you don't use it in the right context, it will grab us. But he's made some very, very damning statements about me in regard to that. And I'm sorry, I'm the one that can prove that I have fought to expose a cover-up. I've said about Simon Danchuk, that was me who found out about him sex. And I got the information that he was sexing girls, not just one teenage girl. But I was the one that did that. I was the one that ousted Carl Beach. And that's to say, if Ellis wants to tell us what he's done, other than set up a documentary group that is intended to just bully and intimidate anyone he doesn't like or anyone that falls out with his girlfriend, Rona, work it out for yourself. It's so intense, that friendship. But anyway, Nick Wakefield, God blimey. God blimey, that would be a thing if that was true, wouldn't it? Let's see. No one want to talk to me again. I don't even look down there, to see if anyone's on there. I don't know why you keep on putting it in. But he is. Where is it? Yeah, he is. He is a contradiction. What it is, everything he says, he does. And that's where I first twigged to him, because he was going on about, did this weird video, what YouTube should be doing. He was into, you can tell in the beginning he wants to be a motivational speaker, and God heaven help us. And he was going to be be this famous YouTuber. He was going to make other people famous by being on his channel. But he was so arrogant with it, literally, this business, and dead arrogant. I thought, this is a horrible narcissist, this. But I spoke to him, I tried to like him, and I couldn't. I thought, no, he's everything I don't like. It was like, oh, everything I don't like, all everything about him. But he can get on with it. It's his life, isn't it? But he's just walking. He doesn't research, and he says he's learned a lesson, and then he goes and does exactly the same thing. But he knew about Nick. 100% he knew about Nick, and he was using him, which I think is sick. Now that he's going on about autism as well. Likes to go on about autism, doesn't he? Yeah, he took a man who was clearly unwell and used him as a bullying tool. Disgusting. I should be the one slagging off and getting at Nick. He said horrendous things about Nick. But I understand you can't do that to him, because it would be cruel. You can't. If you turn on someone that's clearly not well, you're an abuser. You're a bully if you turn on someone that's not well. And people who aren't well say the most horrendous things. And all they can do is say, my God, I wouldn't want to be in their position. And you see Nick at times getting really wound up and go, no one will listen to me. They won't listen to me about these theories he's got. Can you imagine the stress that's in there? And I wouldn't want to trade places with him for nothing. Yeah, here we are, Kels. I think Nick is someone with a serious brain injury. He said he had an accident with an axe in the past. It explains a lot. I think it could be that, but it could be just a natural, what would you call it, disease of the brain, which is terrible. But one thing you don't do is go using them to bully other people. And the fact Ronan went over to his channel to make sure he didn't get in trouble shows you what a slimy little toad he really is. I knew not to like him. And it's all coming out now. I just knew it. How are you, Buffy? Hopefully I will have a good week. But oh, wait a minute. Hey, come on now. Actually start talking this time. Don't give me none of this coming on then running away. Go on, sexy.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I heard you talking about it the other night when I video Craig's channel on live. You were saying someone had a Stevie Wraith mask.
Oh yeah, and now you've got your Stevie Wraith mask. Oh God, why I didn't realise. Why did it say sexy? That's it. You know what's going to happen now, don't you? Bleeding name. Tingo's going to go play with that one, isn't he? I didn't recognise who it was. So.
Paddy's torturing you, Anne.
Oh no. He's just well, let's put this. I've drawn the line with it. I thought it's gone far enough. At first, which you do, you think. I thought it was funny what Dingo was doing. You know when what's his name? Why have I forgotten his name? Tony Baker. I thought it was funny when Tony Baker dressed up and was going, "Oh, hello, be lovelies and all this." I can take a joke, but then it gets sinister when someone's looking down, which Paddy is looking down at his camera. I hate that when people do that because they're imagining that they're on top of you, bullying you. And he's saying nasty things, but calling me that name as well. I thought, no, that the intention is bad there. Look, I always say, and you'll hear me saying this again and again, it's the intention of why someone's saying something. If someone's having a joke and it's obviously laughing with you, fine. But if they're doing it to insult and to demean you, that's when it's not a joke. That's when it's an attack. But again, as I say, I have sympathy for Paddy because, at his age, acting like that. But I mean, I'm with the lads and all this. It is a bit, well, you don't know whether it's cute or sad. Shall I say that? You don't know whether it's cute or sad, but I'll leave it at that. So hopefully that will be passing over anyway. But I don't think so somehow. You see, do you know what it is? They like to clickbait my name. That's what it is. They clickbait my name.
At least they're leaving Deco alone if they clickbait your name, aren't they?
Exactly. I'm glad you've said that, right? Because, what has happened, exactly what I said, what has happened with all this messing about, people aren't looking at Decker, are they? Everyone's arguing between themselves. And funny enough, that's exactly what happened over Daddygate with Sean Atwood. Everyone started getting at each other and attacking each other, and he was left alone. So that's what happens. Everyone starts falling out. So it always happens, and that's why I'm saying now I'm stepping back from it because I can't do any more. I've said what I need to say, and that started off as a simple thing. I'll explain to people who don't know. I went on. I was watching Paddy's live chat, and Ellis, who I'm sorry, I can't stand him. I can't stand the man. And he was on there gobbing off about me. See, he won't do it to me. He won't do it to me. He'll do it on other channels, gobbing off about me. And I hate that. I think it's a real coward that does that. So I said, come on my live. I said, come on, Gobby. And I said, have it out. Said instead of saying it on here. Anyway, he vanished.
Abuse at your live, man. They would just shout abuse at you if they come on your live anyway, man.
Oh, I know that. Well, he wouldn't because he won't even come on the live. He's a coward. But Tony Baker starts responding, and I just said off the cuff, and it wasn't even at Tony Baker. It was at Paul Ellis, because Paul Ellis had done a tweet where he was making it quite clear. He was suggesting that there was something in my past concerning safety in children. So I said, have you, but instead of saying it's Paul Ellis, I said, have you two done your say so? And Baker went absolutely wild. And it started from there. It just blew right up. And that's where it starts from. It wasn't like I had any grand plan or anything. But also, Ellis says, well, if anyone wants to look into it, look at my video I did about Ellis and his defamation. He was claiming to be part of the child protection team back then. But again, life goes on, doesn't it? You just have to roll with the punches.
How are them doing documentaries about somebody, right? But them haven't got their checks and that done or nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is the whole point, and this is what people are catching up to now. You can't have people going round, especially with, no matter who it is, with people who are vulnerable, not just children, women, men, anything who are vulnerable, and not have checks, because you don't know what the hell they're going to get up to. And I'm not saying, do I believe Ellis has got it on him? No, I don't. I don't think he has got it on him. Neither do I believe Emma, even though he's getting on my bleeding nippies at the moment, MMA philosophy. But, people are reading too much into what I'm saying, but as for the situation with Paddy, and I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, if Anne gives me paperwork, I'm not giving him my paperwork from the police. That's restricted documentation. And I can tell you now, he won't do the test. And I don't care. If he doesn't want to do that test, that's up to him. This is Mr. Let's put it this way. This is Mr. Lie detector test. Lie detector test. I'm telling you, lie detector test. You see what people will start thinking. It's up to him. It's entirely up to him.
Paddy needs to do his second lie detector, doesn't he?
Oh, God. It's all like, and I wouldn't mind, lie detector tests are just the dubious. Even the person who invented them said you can't take everything that they say is true. And why are they ganging up on you? I don't think it's ganging up so much. It's just that I put it out there, and they don't like the idea that I put out, and it sort of like starts to feeding frenzy. So everyone's going mad, but everyone's getting, actually, people are getting it worse than I got it. They're getting it much worse than I got it. So,
Decker's had it bad, hasn't he? All the hate and that.
Well, he must be laughing himself now.
Brought it on himself, so
but you know what?
Just put it all out, man.
As my view on Decker, and I've said it before, the reason I wouldn't go on his show, and Ronan did, because I wouldn't go on it, was because I thought there's something. I knew there was something I knew was being used, and I didn't even know much about Decker, but I thought I know I'm being used here. So it was Sean Atwood tried to get me on there. And not Decker, and I keep on saying this, Decker has never once approached me and said, "Will you come on my show?" He never asked. It was always other people were trying to get me on to go on there. So anyway, I wouldn't do it. So I sat on the fence, but when it jumped off the fence was when he did that paperwork one. Then I thought, he's playing games here.
He probably is, because that was just like a court, like a statement what the police would give you. Do you know what I mean? It was nothing that.
So I think he's still playing games. I think he's, would I associate myself with Decker? Certainly wouldn't. Certainly would not. But there's other people that certainly wouldn't associate myself with. But I think what's happened now is the waters have been that muddied that they've literally said to him, "Go on, walk free." In other words, I don't know what there certainly could be caught on, but I think there's definite lies.
Oh,
there's no dramatic and over the top that he's been lied about. And once they start lying, look, the British love nothing more than the underdog, and that will get people sympathising with him. They love the underdog, and he's been built into this monster, but it's getting to the point where it's more of a cartoon than anything threatening now in people's minds.
The Decker show.
Yeah, that's it. It's just getting silly. Hey, well, what's this? Tony, he won't be laughing on Wednesday. His full criminal history on video and audio. I'll send you it, Anne. Every arrest, every NFS.
I won't be laughing on Wednesday.
Tony, you know damn well I don't trust him. I don't. But what I've done is I know what the legal system I've drawn back, and people are acting out of hand here. Totally out of hand, and it's wrong what they're doing. It's totally wrong. You can't act like that. And Ellis, once again, is acting order the way he's carrying on. But if he wants to carry on, he can, but he'll end up in serious trouble. I can see that coming for him. If he carries on using this as a bullying tool, if he wants to fall out with someone, have the gonads to turn round and have it out with the person. Don't go going, "Oh, I'm going to make a video about you because I saw paperwork." He has, well, why not say, "Can I speak to you?" Though I would speak. Actually, I would speak to him. I'd love to speak to him. God, I'd love to speak to him. I would. But he won't.
What would you say? What would you say to him?
Well, I'd give him down the banks about what he's doing, because that is just out now, 100% bullying what he's doing. And he's not kidding. He's not kidding anyone that he's doing documentaries. He's not. He's just using it to get back at people. And that's pretty low. That, especially, if you want to do a documentary saying, "Anne is an asshole," let's say, "Anne is this, Anne is that," okay. But don't go making out that I'm a danger around children when you've got absolutely no evidence of that, or go making out that I did dirty protests or touched up coppers, when if they actually listen to the interview I did with Sean Atwood, they know damn well what happened. They know damn well what happened. I mean, bleeding out. The allegations of the touching up the officers, right? That was 2000 and... God, was it 6? Something like 2006 or 7. I think it was 6. I didn't get out the force until 2011, so they wasted a hell of a long time, didn't they? And you'll find no record of anything, me being prosecuted or anything. But you just have to. But this, you see, if you want to set yourself, and this is another thing, right, which I always warn people about, and it's come true with people I've seen it happening. You start going into the realms of making false allegations like that about people, or especially going into hate speech, let's say, of any kind of hate speech, any chance of you having a career has gone on YouTube or anywhere. It's gone. It's ended. It's done. Capiche? Because it will always come back here. And that's what I tried to warn Ronan. I said, Ronan, this is going to come right back at you sometime, because if he wants to be this big idol that's going to go on RTE to say about his huge success as a podcaster and his amazing journey to global success, it's not going to happen, because people will turn around and say, oh, did you see this? Did you see this hate speech that was going on this channel? Did you see that? Did you see this? So he's going to get it in the neck anyway. And that's what people don't realize. If you're going to stay away from one thing, just stay away from hate speech, because you see the way it's gone now. Simplest thing from years ago. That's it. It's getting people cancelled right off. So you have to be very, very careful. Very careful.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and what do you think of that about that Will Smith smacking what's he called? Fucking
I have two views on it, right? One, this idea that it wasn't real. It was real.
Definitely.
It was real. It was definitely real. But I can understand from the point of view that what it is, his wife is ill. She's got this alopecia. He'll have seen the tears. He'll have seen the distress. He'll have been the one that had to cuddle her and comfort her. So when he heard that being said about it, and he was laughing, but you could see she wasn't amused.
As soon as her face turned, his anger turned.
And his anger turned, so he went for him. And that's what I see it as. People haven't seen the anguish, because she must be absolutely, look, a woman losing her hair, that's a terrible thing. A terrible thing for a woman. So she's going to go through terrible trauma. So he's seeing that. Should you have done it in hindsight? No, because it's not the way to respond. And I've always said this: you don't respond with violence. It's the wrong way. It gives out the wrong message. But can I also sympathize with why he did it? Yeah, because that's someone he really, really loves. And it sounded pathetic to people, that G.I. Jane, sorry. But it was drawing attention to the fact of her alopecia by saying that. So, she's got to be brave to get out there and do it. So yeah, she's I have sympathy with him. It will all blow over, I think. I mean, it was more of a smack than a punch, wasn't it, that he gave him? But it was interesting, let's put it that way. But what you do, but violence is never the response. It's not the right response. You just lose it when you do that.
And 7 months ago, I first spoke to Humble Dryer, right? And 7 months later, now I was talking with a mask on, and he knows who I am behind the mask. After 7 months later, I've only spoke to him once. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of freaked me out. And all he was saying basically was about Decker. Do you know what I mean? Just going on and on about Decker all the time. But,
well, I've had to step back sadly from Humble Dryer, because I'm fed up with the stuff that it is, as again, is in his comments. I'm just fed up with it, and I've told him, when you watch who you're actually following with and watch who you're associating with, because they're pretty nasty bigots, some of them. I mean, very nasty. And that fake Anne was on there again, saying the most horrendous thing about me, and saying, some reason this fake Anne, I've got an idea who it is. It's definitely from the Weezy camp. I know that. And I'm saying, it's wanting to be a mod on this channel, saying, will you get rid of it? I said, it's just not nice that nothing's done. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to make a stance here and block, because I'm sorry. I've always said this: if someone tolerates something like that going on and doesn't challenge it outright and stop it, they are agreeing with it. And so I've had to say, right, as far as I'm concerned, Humble Dryer isn't going to be part of my live stream. He's not going to be part of anything I do. He can get on with what he's doing. I'm not getting involved in it. But, you just have to do that, because if people, and I'm not just talking about criticizing me, I'm talking about saying horrendous things about me. And I thought, get on with it. Oh, wait, we had the name thing, Jimmy Cranston. Yeah, just to explain to people, right? Jimmy came up with the question. He did a video. How do you actually pronounce my name? Androgyny, I say. That's it, androgyny. Now, it's from androgyny, the word androgyny. But people, for some reason, keep on arguing. Some people saying, oh, Anne says it wrong. It's androgyny, right? It's pronounced androgyny. Anne's got it wrong. No. Androgyny and androgyny are two different words. Androgyny, to explain quickly, refers to, it can be a man or a woman who just looks, you think, is that a man or a woman? Or they have aspects, say that you hear the voice and you can't work out if that's a man that's talking to you or a woman. That's what androgyny is. It just means it's a mixture of both, or it can be in fashion. Like Grace Jones. Grace Jones was androgynous. Twiggy in the 60s was androgynous, that boy look. So it's sort of like a mixture between the sexes. But androgyny, or androgyny, as some people say, some people pronounce it androgyny, has to be physically showing both. You could look like a big, hairy Bruce of a man, or a sexy, voluptuous siren of a woman, and be an androgyny. If you've got something about you that physically is relating to both sexes in the same person, that's the difference. So to answer your question, Jimmy, you were right. It is. I say androgyny, but you can't say androgyny, but I just say androgyny, because I think that's the way the ancient Greeks used to say androgyny, but it's two different words altogether. But people do insist on telling me, you know, I've lived this life, and yet they tell me that I'm wrong in what I'm saying. But that's it.
People saying you're looking pretty tonight there, Anne.
Oh, I also look pretty. That's it. I mean, I hate to say it, but I am.
With the flowers in the hair and that. What's going on with the flowers?
Oh, that was me romance. It's romance. I'm talking, and I've stopped talking about that romance on YouTube. Blossoming romances on YouTube. You see them popping up all over the time. Little love stories. It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, well, I'm just looking at the comments, see if anything can pick up on.
Look.
Oh, lovely. Oh, God. And that's real. Is that a real one?
Right. No.
Oh, here we are. Oh, God, Steve, you said the wrong thing. Yeah. I like Kalnak message. You said the wrong thing on here, Kalnak. My God. My God. Darren G. Me and Darren G are not friends. I can assure you we are not friends. One.
Is there any channel taken down or something?
Well, he's always getting it taken down. He keeps on blaming everyone. People got his channel taken down. But the truth is, right, what did it just say about the algorithm? Well, what did it say about the algorithm, right? It will grab things, and then you wake up and you haven't got you. Though he did at one point claim his channel had been taken down, but it was obviously he'd closed it down because they'd stop his dismonetization. If he carries on coming out with the filth he does, if he carries on going on the way he does,
get shut down.
What did I say about the algorithm? It's like if you don't start saying map people when you're talking about them, man, attractive person, that's going to happen to you eventually. You'll wake up and go, no channel, because the algorithm, and it's a hell of a job to get your channel back. Or if you're monetized, you'll just get a message through saying that there's been too many community guidelines errors against you by the algorithm, so that's it. They're going to take it away from you.
Sure.
That's it. But so that's what me. But actually, these were St. Paddy's Day, the green and yellow. I thought I'd wear them today. Oh wait, well, Darren, he's got problems, but you know he's not daft, and this one says he's not daft. He makes out because I remember my mama used to always saying, she said, if you always wanted to know how Well, you didn't say mental illness back then, did you? You said
No,
daft
it
or
wasn't
stupid,
known that
didn't you?
time. When I was young, ADHD wasn't even
Yeah,
invented. Man. Do you
that's
know what I
it.
mean?
But this it. Do you say you didn't have the terms we have now? Or well, the way around, but people didn't use them. And she say if you want to see if someone's really daft, try to shortchange them, because she said they'll always know when you've shortchanged them. She said, and that's true. Where Darren G knows how to make money, so he's not that. You know, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he has got problems, he's got issues, but he definitely knows how to make money. And he's got a sugar daddy. He has romance on YouTube. He's got a sugar daddy. He's got Sean Atwood, hasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, aye.
I certainly didn't have Sean Atwood.
And then mean friends again, like.
Oh, they're friends. It's like a. That's why I say it's like a romance, isn't it? On off, on off, on off. But the little swine. I don't know. I never got a penny off Sean Atwood. Not a penny. What's wrong with me? I mean, come on now, people. Look at me and think of Darren G. Who would you want to have the romance with and throw money at? It would be me, of course. Everyone knows it would be me. You know, absolutely. But he goes for, I think what it was, I think I said this before, I don't know whether I'm boring people. Sean thinks it's going to upset James English. But as I've said to him, ages ago, I said, Sean, I said, James English should be wetting himself. I said, I can't think of anything more to case you with than Darren G and his carryings on. I said that I said he'll be wetting himself. He's well rid of him. And look who's as James English's channel suffered without Darren G. Certainly hasn't. Oh wait, what's this? And you're being fed. Oh yeah, that's it. You can't hold people who are that mentally. I can tell by watching Nick that he is seriously. I could even tell by his body movements. You see him like this. You can tell. You can tell a lot. By I used to be able to do that with no one away with the police, and you'd have the cameras in the really good ones were Admiral Street in Toxteth, and you'd have the cameras, and I'd just be able to sit there and I'd look at the camera, and I'd know at times I'd go, oh God, this is going to be a nightmare. I could just tell by the look of the person, oh, this is going to be, well, they used to call them ball lakers in the police. This is going to be a ball laker. This is going to be a tough one. I could tell by the way they walked in, the body movements and everything. You can tell a lot by how people walk and present themselves.
You can tell like a proper camp gear man walks, can't you?
Well, you can tell a lot. I tell a hell of a lot. Anything else here? See, people come on, people. Come on, join in. Someone, come on. They do this to me. No, thank you for you joining in because I've been
great, me, and I'm quite happy to join.
Hey, that was good the other day on Video Craig, because I enjoyed that.
And Paddy was on.
Oh God, yeah. But I'm just looking at this. I apologize. Oh, see, this little thing else going on. It's Paris there. See, Paris does this. You know, she doesn't turn up for Juicy.
Where's Video Craig at tonight?
I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But that was good last night. I didn't know what to expect. He just said last minute, you want to come on the show? So I said, oh, all right. So I'll come on. It's all fun, isn't it? It's all fun.
Something to do.
Yeah, that's it. But let's see, Jimmy. PLWs. Oh, wait, I've seen this.
No, it's definitely not Craig. No, it's not Craig.
Video Craig are they talking about?
I don't know, but I mean, it's not Craig.
Well, if it was Video Craig, I tell you now, he pulled off a good one the other day, didn't he? Because you were on and he was on at the same time. There's one. I
wasn't on the other day. That was Paddy, man.
Here we are, Steve Harden. I'll let you on now, Steve. But what was I going to say? Oh God, I was going to say something. Oh yeah, Jax. You'll see Jax in my comments. For ages, she's been getting called me. The people are convinced she's me, and then she'll appear in the live, and it's like, you're not seeing me typing, are you?
Have you heard that Paddy lives in a caravan?
I don't know.
That's what Cookie was saying with Rapey, sorry, the other day.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Are you, Steve? How are you doing?
Happy. Thank you, Anne.
Yeah, it was interesting watching your on Nick's the other day. I'm taking this off. It's getting on my nerves now. Yeah, that was interesting.
Did you watch me? Did you?
Yeah. I watched it up until there was someone came on after you, didn't it? Some other fella.
Yeah, Garth W. Absolutely beautiful character.
Well, he was absolutely. He just wasn't taking any messing, was he? He was like not taking it, and I think he really showed how Nick was avoiding certain things. He'd go off the subject to try and avoid answering them, and he was just to let people know. Steve was on Nick Williams' show, and he was accusing you of all sorts, wasn't he? That you'd everything.
I've never come across him yet, like, but he sounds like a fucking divvy, like.
Seriously, lads. Seriously,
he's got problems.
There's one thing on the screen, but there's another thing in face. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Cool.
But do you agree with me, right, that Ronan must know that there's something not right there?
Listen, Ronan's from Ireland.
Yeah.
He knows what the fucking crack is, yeah? He's playing.
Yeah, that's what I say. He knew all the time what was going on.
Look at the look at the 3Ds, yeah? With the Irish bare knuckles, yeah? It's all this publicity, yeah? It's how to get the attention, yeah? Away from everybody else is getting attention.
Yeah.
Okay? It's an Irish thing. I lived in Ireland for fucking many years. I worked with them. I loved them, and I ran away from them. Do you get me? Yeah. Many stories. Many stories. Yeah. Whoa. Well, if you live with the culture, you understand culture. Yeah. It's not a malicious thing. Yeah. It's done within the family. It's done within community. It's done everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go fishing, you bait the hooks. Understanding.
Well, my mama, she was from County Wicklow, Greystones. But as she used to always say, she joined us when the war looked as if it was kicking off. She was sent over for some reason to Scotland, to Paisley in Scotland, to stay with her aunt. And that's how she ended up in the British Army. But so my upbringing wasn't so much. I didn't get. She said that to me. She said, "No," she said, "You haven't had the Irish influence on you," because she said, I, as a 12-year-old, she said, was brought up in Britain. She said, was in Britain all the time. So when I used to go over, I never quite fit. Beautiful. God, Greystones is an absolutely stunning place. I think it's a beautiful place. But I never sort of gelled there. It was like a different, as you're saying, they have their own culture and ways of doing things, which I didn't sort of fit in with.
Yeah.
Harry's gone.
See you later, PLW.
We'll be back again. So, what are your experiences with Nick?
Well, it happened. I was living in a hippie community, okay?
Yeah.
And there was some, one of my friends living there reached out to me and showed me this thing about some Madeline people being associated with the hippie community. First off, I think it was like John Clark's reports, okay?
Yeah.
From Facebook, from understanding now, my friend could not have had contact with John Clark because John Clark does not contact people. He doesn't maintain communications. You know, I've given him everything from Nick's situation. I've given him everything, and he's not responding until he's seen the video. When he's seen the video and his name being slandered, he texts me, confirming. You get me? Yeah. So, anyways. I recognize then, now that I recognize that my friend, Otto, he had contact with Nick. Because Nick, every time I've spoken with Nick, for nearly 2 years now, Nick has been pushing this, like Madeline case and stuff, okay? For me, I'm nothing to do with it. Yeah, I have nothing to do with it. Throughout the time of living here, I'm 1.5 years here. Okay, when I first came here to look after these dogs in house, it was to help a man going crazy. He's from Norway. He's currently in care in Norway. These boots I'm walking from Russia, he sent these about 1.5 months ago. This man that I saved from here. Okay.
Yeah.
So me, I'm here involuntarily, just compassion for dogs and the people who owns this property. I'm minding. Okay. For 1.5 years, I'm without an income. Yeah. For 1.5 years, I'm literally just hand to mouth, you know, like pot go lucky. Every month I might get 110 euros or 220 euros. Yeah. Depending on how rich the family is that left here. Now, bearing in mind, they left here before Corona. They left here before Corona came. Understanding?
Yeah.
To save their family, to get a job, to earn money so they could continue building their home here. Yeah. They were living here for about 3.5 years, and they got totally rinsed by stupid freaking cowboy builders, stupid cowboy electricians, you know, and just totally got rinsed. So the people that are gone from here, they can't even afford to pay me. Yeah? They came here with their last money. They had to go back to earn last monies. When I was in contact with Nick on internet, he on Facebook and Messenger, he offered me an opportunity to walk away from here, go back to Orkiva, okay, directly above the hippie community, yeah, of no good people, different story, blah. So anyways, he's offered to rent me a house or rent me an apartment on the complex where he lives. He's offered me money as for living, and he's offered me money to care for him, okay, because he's living in a very intimidated situation. He's clarified that and been very proud and loud, and it's recorded. You can go back video, and he says for 5 years he sat in his fucking sofa. Yeah. He sat on his sofa doing fucking internet warring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I look, he's attacked you. He's attacked this one. He's attacked 20 people in your conversation today. You know, there's 5, 6, 10 people. They're saying he's attacked, and yeah, blah, blah. We're all saying the same thing. So anyways, when I asked him, can I take the dogs from here? He said, no. Can I bring the dogs with me? He said, no, there's no dogs welcome. I said, can I bring my camper van with me? No parking for my camper van. I said, Nick, you want me to give up everything here to come to you, to your hellhole with all that fucking bullshit where you're getting robbed and mugged and smashed up and everything, and you're fucked up, Nick, yeah? I asked the people that own this place if you can come and help me here. He said, oh, great, Steve. I'd rent the camper van off you. You know, I'd rent you. I'd pay for you to do my caring. I'd pay for you to do the village things. I'd pay for you. I'd support you. I'd buy a vehicle. In fact, my neighbor's got a vehicle, and they're giving it to me when they go back to Poland. So I've got all of this, yeah? About 3 months this goes on, people, okay? 3 months this went on. I eventually said to the people that own this place, I said, listen, yeah, I'm really suffering, really suffering, blah, 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 many stories, many situations. I said, I'm really suffering. I need more help. You either send more money, you either get this vehicle sorted or that vehicle sorted, or you get things sorted that I can be comfortable here. I says, or I have to go. I've been offered multiple jobs since I've been here. I've been offered a girl that says, Steve, come with me with your dogs and we'll go South America. Fuck it. Do you get me? And yeah. I've said this to the people. When they thought that they were losing me, they said, Steve, whatever you need to do, do it. So I said to Nick straight away, within moments of receiving that message, you know, and he was straight away. He was straight away on board. And he confirmed he's got this money, he's got that money, he's got this money coming in, you know, he's due this inheritance, he's got this court case going on. He's, you know, and for me, man, I'm not interested in money. All I need is dog food, dog medication, and food and clothing for myself. A bit of transport, you know. Happy days. Yeah, tobacco, phone credit, happy days.
Here you are, Steve. Steve, can I just ask this, because Kelsey's asked a good question here. What kind of caring was he asking for? A bodyguard or a health carer?
Health carer, home protector, all of it. Yeah?
Yeah.
All of it. All of it. Yeah. He's always telling me about him getting beaten up. Yeah. He's always telling me about these people, his neighbors. He's got female neighbors that he's always robbing him. So he says. He's got female neighbor that he's always fighting with. He's got female neighbor that he's got multiple court cases going on about. Yeah. And then her friends also, they all get involved. Yeah. So by me being there, I would be like home protector. I'd be, you know, like carer and dog's body. Do you get me? Yeah. Living home care. When I confirmed that he was welcome to come here, this took about 2 or 3 weeks conversation. And we were waiting for his friends, his neighbors to go to Poland, leave him with the car, then he had freedom to come here. Now, in the meantime, I've always invited him to come and visit. Knowing that it's only a bus or 2 journeys away, yeah, he could easily get on the bus and nobody knows nothing. You know, he could go for a day out, he could come for a few days. That was on proposals. He never came to visit. We've never spent more than 2 minutes in each other's company. Nothing. Okay?
Yeah.
Only Facebook. Only knowing that he's associated there and there. And we've got similarities. We're both chronic dope smokers. Yeah? We love our ganja. I love my ganja. He loves his ganja. Okay? My problem, his problem. Anyways, he said to me, to cut things short, if you can organize transport to come and pick me up, I will pay whatever it costs. I said, okay. I know 3 or 4 fellas in the village with vans. I'll speak with them. I go to the village. I make arrangements. The man said 120 from here to there and back again. Okay, because the man has to travel from this village to Orkiva, collect things, bring it back to this place, and then come up here. I said, I'll make sure you get a bonus. Round it up to 200. Okay? So this is when it could go on for hours at people, yeah? This could go on for hours now, okay? Bear with me, yeah? I phoned Nick up, or speak with Nick, or texted him, and I said quite clearly, this man has said 120 to come and collect you. Oh, brilliant, oh, brilliant, oh, brilliant. I says, wait a minute. I says, wait a minute. I says, please. I says, I want to see that man take 200 euros for one reason. The 5 kilometers that he has to travel from the village to here, everybody gets punctures. Nobody's made it up here in one journey. And the only person that's made it up the worst of the road is me in this bus. Okay? So that man, I want to see him take a little bit of a reward, be grateful. Yeah? This is my first interaction with these people. If I need these people again, they're going to be on my side. Do you get me? This is how I see things. Yeah? So with this, yes, perfect. So I arrange, we arrange, they've arranged. So on the Thursday, I'm sat in the village. I haven't eaten breakfast. I've eaten a few almonds from the trees here. I've walked down to the village, left all my dogs here, even my Captain Jack. Yeah, I've left all of them here because I don't know what I'm going to confront. Maybe he's bringing his 6 big sacks of leaf that he makes his RSO with. Maybe he's bringing shitloads of methadone. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what he's bringing. So me, I don't risk nothing apart from myself. I put myself in that van with the driver. We go and collect. Sorry, there's a bit of wind, so I'm going to turn my torch on. Yeah. And so maybe I'll close my door. So with this, we go and collect him. We went and collected him. A nice journey, myself and the driver had. And we arrived only to be confronted. Pardon. Excuse me. I was just closing the door. It was getting a bit gusty out there. So myself and the driver, we arrived only to be abused and confronted by this crazy lady. And it turns out I met this lady nearly 3 summers ago. Me and my dog was on a kayaking experience on the beach for 3 months. And we met this crazy lady with 2 dogs. And I recognized her to be Nick's neighbor. When myself and the driver get to Nick, all of Nick's things are outside of the complex, okay, in this driveway. There's loads of vehicles. Pardon, excuse me. When I sat on the wall before I met the driver, Nick phoned and said his neighbor, his landlord, is ready to drive him for free. Yeah? His neighbor's ready to drive him for free. But for a week, I've had this driver prepared. Do you get me? Yeah. So I said, no, we're sticking to my plan. This is going to go my way. I said, Nick, I said, I've sent you a message. It's in Spanish. Can you translate it to English, please? It's from, I didn't tell him where it's from, but it was from the vets. I've got 6 dogs here, covered in ticks at the time. You know, they need tick, they need rabies, they need parvo, they need microchip and passport. Okay, if I'm to be public with them, yeah, if I'm to be out and responsible with these dogs, I need all those things. My dogs have always been 110%. Okay, these dogs make me more vulnerable because they're a German Shepherd and that's mum and dad, and then there's 2 young ones. Yeah. So anyways, I gets over to Nick. I says, Nick, have you translated that? I can't be bothered with that. Never mind that. I don't know. Actually, I don't give a shit about that. Like he said to Garth on the phone, on the message the other day, he said to Garth, I don't give a shit about that. That's exactly how Nick was with me about that message for the next morning. So we arrived to Nick. We see all these boxes. Nick says, oh, get out into the van. I said, Nick, pay the driver. Okay.
You know what, Steve, can I just say, right, I'm starting to lose track of it now because so much is going on. And it's, you sort of like, your brain goes, I've lost it now. What I think people want to know is when Nick's making these allegations, has he actually got people? I know you've given an indication about his neighbours. When he's saying he's getting beaten up and strangled and abducted, is that true, or is he elaborating things?
I don't know. I gave him a slap because he was sleeping on my bed the night before. I slept with no blankets because he was on my bed. Yeah, I tried filming him, and he was only like in the thing. He wouldn't open the back doors of my bus. Yeah, and I tried reaching over him, and he kicked out to me. Okay, so as he kicked out to me, I gave him a slap. Yeah, that was it. And I kind of pushed him out the back door and I pulled him back through. I don't remember because they all went a bit, you know, like silly. And next thing you know, we were walking down the village. Yeah. We had a nice dinner together. And then he went psycho and told me that he was coming back collecting his things he don't want to do. Yeah.
Now, this is the thing, Steve. This is what I've said about him, which I picked up on him. Because he contacted me, oh God, it was a while ago now, on Twitter. He was following me and I was getting all these, you know, messages, and you'll know what I'm talking about, Madeline McCann and all this business. And I thought, let him get on with it, you know. It's nice to him. I never didn't know what he looked like or who he was. But then suddenly, and I can't even remember what was over this, how important it was to me. He just like that, turned, and it was vicious.
Yeah,
so I thought, block him. I'm going to block him. Well, then he comes back, and I'd forgotten who he was. That's how important he was to me. I'd forgotten who he was, and I accepted his follow on. I followed him back on Twitter, and he went, "Oh, sorry about that misunderstanding and all this. Thank you for doing that again." And then he said, "I hope it didn't upset you." And all that I said, and this was so petty. As a joke, I said, well, you were being a bit of a bitch. No, I said I didn't know who he was. Anyway, he never said anything about me saying, oh, you're a bit of a bitch, or anything. Never said anything about it, and was still communicating with me. Then he suddenly turned again like that, and he was raging, how dare you call me a bitch? And I thought, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong. So I held back, I stayed back. Then he starts appearing on Ronan's comments and making the most disgusting allegations against me. But when I actually saw him, actually for the first time, when he started making himself known, that's when I realized, I thought, there's something not right here. Say's not right with this person. But what you've just said about it, he'll go within a second, people, from being absolutely raging at you to like that, he's all right with you. It's weird.
And why did he turn against you then? Why did he start and do that against you?
He just does it. He doesn't have to have a reason. He just does. He comes across as me as having paranoid delusions. Yeah. He's delusional. He doesn't. Yeah. And that's why I thought
bodyguards and that.
Yeah. So you'll say something like simple. Say that you were saying to me, like he said, you know, oh, I'm sorry, I hope it didn't upset you and all this. And I say, oh, when you were a bit of a bitch, any normal, rational person would go, oh, yeah, it was. That's what they'd say. He didn't even react to that. It took months to react to it. And when he did react, it was like, boom. And he actually said in one of the things on Ronan's, which was so bizarre, he said, you called me a bitch, so I'm going to call you a predator.
Oh,
how can anyone work that out? And he loves accusing people of it. And that's when I started thinking, is he deflecting here?
People are deflecting that do that, isn't it?
Yeah. So, go on, Steve.
There's a lot of people that I've seen on my travels, you know, 43 nearly, yeah? And a lot of people, they're able to point fingers, but they're not able to hold their own responsibilities. Yeah,
you know, definitely.
Anytime I've been to court, yeah, because I've said openly, yes, I don't give a fuck. Yes, that's me. Do you get me? Yeah. The police, they know if they catch, if they've got me, I don't bullshit, but I don't take nobody down with me. Yeah, I've been in jail because I didn't take somebody down with me. If I had only said, nah, man, I'm not that thief, but he is, I would not have gone to jail. Yeah. But I'm not saying about him. I don't know what he's doing. I'm sitting here smoking a joint. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Do you get me? Yeah. And I lost a lot by doing that. I lost a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was accusing you.
There ain't no compensation for that. There ain't no compensation for that. Do you get me?
You can't get it.
You just got to walk away. Yeah.
To clarify to people.
But with Nick, everybody else is wrong, and they're more than wrong. They're guilty of the outrageous.
Well, he accused you. This is what I wanted to say. People who don't know, he accused Steve the other night. It just went mad. He said you got him, kidnapped him into a van, beat him up, and all this. Then it suddenly changed, so you had 7 dogs with you, and then there was so many people. Do you remember CW or whatever he was, the fellow that came on? He was questioning about, wasn't he? And it starts to fall into bits as he questioned.
Yeah, playing the pieces. Yeah, and you could see exactly the character. You know, there was no information, there was nothing of any relevance, and he kept jumping from one to the other. And then coming back, and then going back, and then coming back. I mean, like there's 4 or 5 conversations in one sentence.
Well, let's put it this way. If someone turned around and said, and I think most people will agree with this, and this is how you realise there's something wrong with Nick. He was being asked, and it was made clear if he had a history with children, you know, he was being asked that, and they'd say, no, and then he'd go on to something else. And I thought, most people, if you said to them, if you got a history of children, they wouldn't go, oh, yes, oh, and then change. What? He's got 2 sons.
No, I've got 2 sons.
Oh,
2 different mothers.
But that's why I thought he's not. And but what I mean by that, I'm not saying that by doing that he's proven that there is something against him. What I'm saying is he can't hold a thought. His brain can't get hold a thought. But is this because the drug use he's been doing for years?
You know what? I've got the same issue with smoking so much marijuana. Yeah, I've got the same issue. Yeah, you know, I babble. I can talk for 20 hours. You know, and then realize I've got a sore throat.
Yeah. Do you know, Kelsey has given another good question. Kelsey's coming up with the brilliant questions, I must say. Does Steve know if Nick has ever been hospitalized for his mental health? In other words, has he been sectioned or anything?
I don't know if he's been hospitalized, but in conversation with him, he has mentioned very graphically that he goes to the doctor in the village and he's prescribed Valium for his psychiatric issues.
Yeah. For anxiety, Valium's for anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
very anxious.
Anybody I know called Nick is hooked on Valium, and we call him Fluffy Nick. Yeah, because they're away with the fairies. Yeah, they're fluffy, you know. Yeah, but normal, harmless people, but venomous peoples.
Do you not like a Valium or 2, Steve?
Pardon?
Do you not like a Valium or 2?
No. Many years ago at parties, yeah, I might take a Valium to go to sleep after if the acid's going wrong.
Yeah.
At the festivals, I always took a bag of Valium for people that were in that casualty state, you know, because I do understand what Valium is, and I have played with many drugs, you know, in festivals on the streets. I've never pinned up. I've never pinned up. I smoked smack maybe 3 times, and I've smoked crack for maybe I don't know, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been a heroin addict, and I've beat me addiction and everything. Me.
Well, I was very I was bored, and I've always said this. I was bored, and I tried pot once, didn't like it because it had a weird effect. So I never drank, never. But I couldn't, and I used to say this because of my job. I was always when I was dancing, you couldn't go on the stage. You know, actually saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the same, man, and I'm the same. I cannot perform. Yeah, I'm stoned. I cannot perform, and I'm doing everything stoned.
But Steve, I was going to say there was a famous dancer, American ballet theatre. Oh, she was hugely famous. Kelsey Kirkland was her name. Extremely famous. Now she came out and admitted that for a lot of her career, and this is unbelievable, she was dancing through using cocaine to get through it because it's such a horrendous. It can be. I mean, I don't like saying this because I want people to enjoy ballet. I want people to support ballet. That was my life from a child and all this business. So I want them to enjoy it. But when you're actually doing that job, it can be extremely stressful because the demand on you for perfection is paramount. So mentally and physically, if you're exhausted, you still have to go on. And she started using. Now, I'd heard rumors about people using it, but actually she was stoned off her face and managed to still perform the top ballets. And I thought, how? But again, then she started having brain seizures, and that's what finished her off, her career off eventually.
This is a problem, you see. Like, a lot of people need drugs to switch off from something. You know, something in our life we are switching off and we are using. I mean, excuse me, PLW. I'm worse than you for chasing. You know, I have chased weed everywhere. Everywhere, weed has been my main goal. Yeah, you know, jail, psychiatric, it don't matter. Weed has been my goal. It has crippled me. Yeah, and but I don't know what else. I don't know how. You know, I'm happy with it. I love it. You know, I've always loved weed from my first one.
Which one out of all the? I'll ask the two of you this as well. Out of all the things substances you've taken, which is the most difficult to do without? Or would you think if you had to choose one, which one?
Tobacco, I cannot be without. I can be without weed and hash, but I cannot be without tobacco. Fucking hell, that fucked me up.
Well, what about you, PLW?
Oh God, cannabis, but that's not like physically addiction, is it? It's just like mentally. But then there's like heroin, like that I've rattled and stuff like that, and that was kind of hard to do. But me and my ex-partner had to get off everything. Do you know what I mean? To have a baby, so we did that for a reason, and it kept us off everything.
Yeah. But I used to smoke. I did smoke to keep my weight in check, and used to do that. And you know, you think that it's calmed you down and all this, but my God, I had one hell of a job giving up. I mean, I had to try again and again and again and again to give up smoking, and eventually did. And I'll tell you how I actually gave up, and this is bizarre. What made me eventually do it? Because of my time with the police and what went on, I had more or less a nervous breakdown without knowing it. I had a nervous breakdown. Next thing, I'm put in this. I wasn't sectioned. I had to agree to go in, or it could have been sectioned. So I had the sense to say, right, okay, I'll agree to go into this mental health unit. And you could smoke there at any time you wanted. You could go out onto the, even in the middle of the night, you could open this door and go out and have a smoke. But they said to me, this is changing soon and you can't smoke on NHS premises. Anyway, I thought to myself, wait a minute, there's no telling that I may not go again. and be put in that place again, because you don't know, once you have a breakdown, you can never predict that you're not going to have a breakdown again. And what shocked me was I didn't know I was having a breakdown. That's what horrified me. I didn't know. So anyway, I thought there's no way I could survive in there without a cigarette. And that's what actually made me give up. The thought, if I go back in there, I couldn't survive without a cigarette, because they're the most horrible places to be. Horrible it was. It was absolutely terrible. And I'm not talking about the people that were in there. I'm talking about some of the staff. I was having absolutely hell with some of the staff there.
Mm-hmm. Like all the prisons, and that's been smokers there free now, aren't they? So
yeah,
they've been like that for a few years now. And
well, I don't know if they can do it. I think when someone's got mental health issues, right, and they have to be put in, they have to be put in a unit, mental health unit. The last thing you want to do is take away something that's going to make them anxious if you take it away. So they should allow drug users to have access to the drugs, restricted like, and they should allow smokers to be able to smoke, because you're not going to be in the frame of mind to give up when you're in there. There's no way.
Yeah.
And you need anything that will calm. But you know
Lock
what? The
me
drugs.
Up in the police cell, I go crazy. Yeah, I go crazy without a cigarette in the police cell. I'm like Tasmanian devil, I'm bouncing off walls. Yeah.
You're not going anywhere though. You kind of get through the wall. You're staying in that room.
I don't care. I don't care. I switch off. I don't. I'm entitled.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad person. There's nothing that should be caging me up. There's no reason I should be caged up.
Nah.
I've had 27 years. I've had 27 years outside, unless I'm in prison or I'm in psychiatric unit or I'm trying to make family. Yeah. Or I'm outside. I loves it. Yeah, you can't put me inside.
You know the thing about the mental health units, well, it'll be the same in prison as well with it. Do you see them? I used to see them using, because I used to be a probation officer before joining the police with drug users on treatment and testing orders. And I used to see them slipping them things. But this day, this young girl was in, and she was a self-harmer. Lovely young girl she was, but she was self-harmer. And anyway, the called her bringing drugs in and kicked her out. And I turned around, I said, wait a minute. I said, they've kicked her out because she was bringing in drugs. So they said, yeah, we had to. And so I thought, great, what I'm going to do is get a box, put drugs on it, put it in my room, then I'll get me freedom. I was only there for 3 weeks, though. But God, I swore I'm never again. If I can avoid that, it's the most horrible demeaning experience I've ever had. And that wasn't because, say, the patients, it was, oh, your little dog. Oh, cutesy. Oh, beautiful. Your best friends you'll ever have then. Your best friends.
I had my Captain Jack. He was born to me. I had his mother.
Oh, God. Gorgeous. Mine went, passed over the rainbow last September. And God, I don't know. I miss him. He was lovely. Little dog like that, but black and white. He was gorgeous. They're your best friends. You'll never have a better companion than a dog.
And people, these dogs here, I've known this family of dogs since they arrived, since the father arrived to Spain about 5 years ago. And the German Shepherd, she was arrived to me in Beneficio. She was abused, and my friend here came over to me and rescued her from me. She was delivered to me abused, my friend came over and stole her from me, and she came here then, and I'd already given them a female puppy. She looked like a chocolate Labrador. And with the German Shepherd came the sister of the chocolate Labrador lookalike, because I rescued 5 abandoned puppies. And so I distributed them. So my friend here, he ended up with 3 bitches and his Akita dog. Less than a year later, there was 40 puppies running around here.
Oh, I tell you now, that's happened to me. My idea of heaven, and I've always said this, if there's a heaven and I get there, it better be full of dogs, because that's my passion, dogs. But here's a question for you, Steve. Matrix has asked, is there any truth in the kidnapping question? You know where they... No.
Look, if I ask pizza delivery, to deliver me a pizza. Am I being done for shoplifting?
No.
Thank you. So you get me, yeah? You pay for a taxi. The taxi comes and collects you, yeah? You pay for a courier. You pay for your bus driver, yeah?
Yeah.
Is a bus driver kidnapping you?
I know. I get what you. I thought it would be something like that. I say it's just
Can I ask you? Can I ask you all live now for one thing? Okay. Nick left all of his things here. He told me he took all of his valuables and all the things, and he's lightened his load, and he's very happy. He sent me loads of messages confirming all of this. He gave me permission to use his open his computer or take it to the shop and get it opened. Yeah, he's given me permission to have all of these things. Yeah, and then, yeah, he reneged on it. Yeah, and the only reason he opened up and gave me all these things is because when he left everything, there was food and stuff here. Okay. Now, I don't want rats and everything, you know, like making home and making mess. I don't want the dogs coming here and ripping everything apart. So I secured everything. I identified everything. And because I don't want any troubles from anybody, I identified everything, you know, so I know what is and where it is. When I was using things, you know, and making use of things, I was texting him, identifying it. What is this? What's the code for your computer? Yeah. And he gave me clear thing. It's yours. Now, 2-3 weeks ago, he texted me numerous texts threatening me, telling me he's on his way with backup to collect his things that I've stolen from him. No, it's been outside waiting for him for 3 weeks.
Well, he didn't say that. This is the thing. He didn't mention that, did he, when he was talking to you the other day? He didn't even mention that. So this would mean he can't hold a thought. It's just random things explode in his head.
The question is it my things? Is it my things that I can do what I want with? Or do I take it to the Guardia and give it to the Guardia? Or do I leave it there to get rotten and pollution?
Well, in the UK, you'd have to say to him, you pick it up within such a time period, but have evidence that you've sent it to him, the order to pick it up. And if he doesn't pick it up within that time period, but you'd have to find legally what the time period is and what the objects are, then you can literally do what you want with them. But you do have to be careful. People think that you can just like say, oh, well, if you don't come and collect them, I'm going to destroy them. You can't do that. You have to find out what the litigation is, the time period. Right. And then it's considered abandoned goods and you can claim them then.
And this is how I live life all my life. I do not put myself in risk for fucking numpties. Do you understand me? Yeah? Yeah. There's 5 aspects and there's 5 angles to deal with everything. Yeah. And if there isn't a peaceful way to deal with it, I'm gone. That is how I am. Yeah. I could not leave these dogs. I could not leave this property with him. Do you understand me? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't prove himself worthy within that 24 hours that he was here. He actually proved that he was a liability and fucking, he does need a carer.
Well, Lisa said one thing, if Nick is vulnerable, why would you have his belongings? He sent them to you, didn't he? Or he told you to take them, didn't he?
We collected him. Yeah, we delivered him here. We unpacked him. I went to the village. Yeah, I came back up. He was in my bed. We had a little, I went off into the house. I slept in the house. I came back in the morning with coffee about 11 o'clock in the morning, and that's when it all fucking exploded. Yeah. Because he poisoned me, he passed me, he said, hey, smoke this. This is my RSO. I smoked 1 drag of it, and he's like, fuck off. That's horrible, you know? And I went straight off to bed, Came back next morning, I told him, that gave me a splitting fucking headache, I feel rough, I feel horrible just from 1 drag, just from 1 pull, I says, that ain't for me, what do you make it with? And he says, alcohol, and he showed me the material, and he said, well, I picked out all the best bits, and it was just leaf. Anybody that knows a ganja plant, you throw away the leaf, you make that fucking into something, you know, you eat it, you don't freaking smoke it, you know. So he's making really, really bad product. He sat there all day smoking like 10 grams of this a day, you know. Of course his head's shattered. You know? Yeah. He is vulnerable and he is a vulnerability to everybody else.
Hey, well, what's this? I don't. What I want to ask, what is RSO?
RSO is like Rick Simpson's or Rick Steiner's or something. Oil, okay, is alcohol with marijuana content, and it's stewed up, cooked off, and the alcohol's evaporated, and then you're left with a black tar. Yeah.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
The 2 times I've seen it is black tar. Yeah, and both times, yeah, I remember now the first time I smoked it, and I remember this one. Yeah, and yeah, both times I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No.
Well, what I'm going to have to do now, Steve, is I'm going to have to start closing down because I've got to go out at it's what time? 10 o'clock, isn't it? So I've got half an hour to get ready. So you'll have to come on again and we'll carry on the same conversation. But Major Up, you came on because it's enlightened a lot of things about this situation with Nick, because I say you personally have experience with him. But so will you come on again sometime if you get the chance?
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
That'd be brilliant.
You were one of my first choices.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. But anyway, to everyone in the chat, thank you for joining me, and good night, everyone, and God bless.
You,
bye now.
Yeah.